Hey everybody, welcome to Hear Us Out. I'm Patrick.
And I'm Paul. How's it going?
Not too bad, my friend. Not too bad. Regular service is being resumed. We had a small blip last week, thanks to me, but we're back in the chair. And our monthly roundup of August's news was supposed to be last week, and we had to move it to this week, which is just as well because it's the 1st of September. So we've now got absolutely everything up until the last minute of midnight in August last night. But Paul, let's kick into this. It's been one of those weird months that started out with some kind of odd stuff, let's say. We're going to touch on the controversial stuff. We're going to dip into some things that people out there may not have known or heard about. We're going to talk about some trailers and things like that came out, and a few little first looks. But do you want to start at the start of the month or the end of the month? Because for me, the start and the end of the month, and I think I'm just going to kick into it, Paul, is She-Hulk. Because She-Hulk was the big, non-controversial, yet strangely controversial topic. We've got controversial topics coming up, folks. This wasn't going to be one of them. Yet people seem to be able to make this controversial. Well done, world and internet. You did it again.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those sad stories where you're just like, okay, well, we have a couple of things that are going on, and we'll see how they go and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we're gonna be okay with She-Hulk, right?
Yeah.
Right?
This was supposed to be the safety call. Sorry, apologies for anybody whose earphones I was blowing out. You can thank our software for after an update being a wee bit silly. Paul, She-Hulk is 3 episodes in at this stage as of today.
Yes.
We're going to probably do a review possibly of it by the time it's all finished. Who knows? We'll see how things go. But the reason that it was big news for me is I was really excited for this. And for me, She-Hulk, and I think we said this ages ago, She-Hulk was the new Guardians of the Galaxy, in the same way that I remember the MCU picking up speed, doing all its good stuff, and then they're like, we're going to do Guardians of the Galaxy, and talking raccoons and talking trees and characters nobody's heard of. I was like, oh, if they can pull that off and they can survive it, then maybe this comic book thing isn't over. Because I was really, really worried that the general public wouldn't accept it. The TV shows that Disney Plus have done so far have been primarily based on established big-name MCU characters. Oops. Yeah. Or at least things that people will be in some way familiar with. She-Hulk, as much as there might be a vague familiarity with the general public, or the idea that, we know that when there's a Hulk, there'll be various versions of it, or when there's an Iron Man, there'll be other Iron Men, and Iron Women, and Iron Hearts, and, there'll be Superboy, Superman, Supergirl, Superwoman, Super Dog, Super everything. But I thought, I'm looking forward to it, because I'm hyped for it. I wonder how it'll go down with the general public. I was expecting the backlash to be, not really into this. Not day one before it had even properly launched. The usual Rotten Tomatoes review bomb thing, whatever we're calling that particular maneuver.
Yeah, the whole pre-launch just going on and just review dumping it so that rating dumping it so that it just gets a bad audience review on Rotten Tomatoes and a bad overall view on IMDb and stuff like that. It is one reason that I do like Rotten Tomatoes review system, because you get a reviewer review rating, and then you get the audience one.
Yeah. So
you can kind of balance it out in a sense of kind of going, well, I've heard a story of them screwing with it, so what does the reviewer say?
And I'll be honest with you, I shouldn't have mentioned Rotten Tomatoes there, because this was specifically IMDb that I think they started, because it's the easiest one to manipulate the system with. So
but they started and it just spilled over to every other single one of them. So it makes sense to.
Because hey kids, everybody loves a new internet trend or game or whatever. I don't think enough people ate washing tablets. Or whatever that last really dangerous thing that went around was. The Tide challenge, whatever the hell it was. Yeah, obviously you can tell by the way I'm talking about it. I'm disappointed in our general world. But once you scrape all that away, then there were people who'd actually watched it and had opinions. Overall, I'm on the positive side of things, Paul. We haven't talked. Are you on the overall positive, overall negative, somewhere in the middle?
So I've watched the first episode.
Okay.
And so far, everything about She-Hulk, I've loved.
Okay.
The Hulk side of things, as in because the first episode has a lot of Hulk elements in it.
Yes, two Hulks for the price of one.
Yeah, that's yeah. But that was the problem that I had with the majority of it.
Okay.
Kind of thing. Like, we'll forget about the fact that the origin has changed a little bit, which is fine. They need to do it for MCU and simplicity and stuff like that. That's fine. But I've gone on record countless times and talked about how I feel about Smart Hulk and all the stuff that they're doing with Hulk and stuff like that. So I like that. That was the only part that I don't like. But She-Hulk, like I'm looking forward to watching more, seeing about her story and where she where like they're gonna go with her character a little bit more and stuff. Very on board for it. So positive overall. Just questioning some of the choices that they've made in a sense of kind of,
that's fair, I guess,
enough. They're propping it up a little bit with having Hulk in there. That's
pilot episodes. You know yourself. It's always it's a tricky game. I'm not going to say anything because I've seen the other 2 episodes, so I don't want to spoil it for you or for anyone else. And this spoiler-free zone, essentially. But what I can say, Paul, is, or one thing I will ask that won't spoil it for anybody, Tatiana Maslany, the Jennifer Walters, the lead, who is known to most people for Orphan Black, I think. What did you think of her so far? Because I got to say, I didn't watch Orphan Black. I kind of regret not watching Orphan Black just because now seeing this person, I'm like, wow, she definitely has something. She has screen presence. I enjoyed her.
I probably like halfway through Orphan Black, and my god, the acting chops on her is absolutely amazing. Because you'll find, if you do dip into Orphan Black, you'll find out exactly why. And but it's I've really enjoyed her as a character. She's done really, really well. So like
question one, day one of She-Hulk for me is, did they get the casting right? And for me, yes, so far, tick that I don't, even after the first episode, I was like, okay, well, I'm comfortable now. So we'll see where they go with the story, because there's definite problems, but we'll not go into them now. Another time, Paul, another time. So, Paul, would you like to choose business or controversy for our next topic? That would be all related to the same company. Do you want to talk about Discovery Warner in general, or do you want to talk about Ezra Miller's apology?
Let's do Ezra Miller's apology.
Okay, well,
we'll get this out of the way, I guess.
Yeah, I've thrown up on screen the wording of the apology. Ezra Miller, we've talked about multiple times. I don't think we want to spend the monthly roundup. The actual newsworthy part of this is that there has been an apology. So I guess the question is the reaction to their apology, or the news story is. And from memory, because it's died down, thankfully. It hasn't maintained a whole lot of news legs. There was the usual thing, the things you'd expect from people, blowing it really big one way or the other. Is this, all PR? I'm sure there's an element of PR. Is it all PR? I don't know. I'm just glad there is now an apology, because at least it puts the question of, are they aware? Does Ezra Miller know that this is not cool? At the very least, we know they know that now. So I just want to take one positive out of this and then not have to talk about it again until after The Flash comes out, or heaven forbid something even weirder happens.
Yeah, like I think I'm gonna echo that in the sense that it's since the apology has come out, I think I've been happier where it seems like there's someone with their hand on the wheel again. Kind of, and I don't mean this in a kind of controlling fashion of Ezra Miller or anything like that. Just that someone's possibly, that's hopefully a trusted friend has kind of stepped in and hopefully talked to Ezra and hopefully gone, maybe we should do some damage control on this, and because you really want, it did seem like they really wanted the Flash to be released, because they went in to talk to the Warner Brothers kind of bigwigs and stuff. After we got that actually pre-stream we got that, or during the stream we got that news that with the merger they were going to pull the Flash. Mm-hmm. I think a week later Ezra Miller went in to kind of maybe talk to them about what they could do to get it released and stuff, and this is probably part of it, and also hopefully as we said, a friend has hopefully, a trusted friend has hopefully kind of helped Ezra to kind of realize.
Yeah, it's pretty simple, I guess, Paul. For me, yeah, it is that it's yeah, somebody that looked like they obviously needed help. Now there is at least some acknowledgement that there's going to be help sought and that they're going to get help. So I'm closing the book on it with that one for me, because anytime you see somebody who obviously looks like they need help, it's great when you hear that they're going to get help. Whatever emotions or thoughts we have on all of the other, should they be given another chance or should the film be released, we'll be talking about that again in the coming weeks and months. I think can we finally, maybe for a month or two, hopefully close the book on having to discuss Ezra Miller.
Yeah, like I think here we could be the cynical group and just be like reading really deeply into the kind of apology, but I think we're gonna be like, we're gonna take it at face value and move on.
Yeah,
and then we're done with it, and then see what happens in the future.
Yeah. So good luck to everybody involved. And that leaves the other side of it, because I want to do these as a combined story, if that's all right. The Warner Brothers Discovery ongoing. There was the merger back in April. There's there was the investor call. There was all the news. There was Batwoman, or Batgirl being cancelled. There you go. I did it. There's a bat everything as well. There's a bat cycle, a bat copter, a bat fridge, and a bat credit card, according to George Clooney. He would never leave home without it. There's so much to cover there, and there was so many things falling out of it. Again, as the month has worn on, I'm really glad that there seems to be less people interested in ginning up more stuff, because I think Zaslav, who's taken over, I've already expressed a kind of a confidence in the idea that, okay, they're making DC their own studio, tough decisions are being made. I feel sorry for the people who are affected by that, and lest we forget there are real lives and real jobs that have been affected, and real people in HBO Max and in other parts of the corporation have lost their jobs, and that can never be overlooked or ignored. For anybody out there who knows what it feels like to lose their livelihood, it's insanely scary. But from a general future point of view for all of this, I'm feeling that it's going in a positive direction, with maybe some actual willingness, as I put it before, to just copy what's worked for others rather than half-assedly copying it. So they can still do their own things on the side, but for the bit that needs to be a bit more MCU, it looks like they're going to go that way.
Yeah, that's the thing. Where I think for this short period of time, there's going to be a lot of upheaval where we're going to be like, oh, I can't believe they're cutting that. It's going to be one of those triage things where we're kind of like, I can't believe they're cutting that. I can't believe they're cutting this. But in the end of it all, it's going to be good. Right now we just have to go through a little bit of kind of pain and disappointment and stuff like that as we venture forward into possibly not rival, but another universe in which we can kind of escape to.
Yeah.
Which is going to be nice with new stories and hopefully kind of actually entertain rather than kind of entertain and anger.
Yeah, and because of all this, it's gold dust for us, Paul, because we're going to get to talk more about, like, HBO Max is going away and is going to become something. Our Streaming Wars series will be coming back in full effect thanks to all of this. So the cynical side of me is going, yay! We can talk about this almost every month because something new is going to happen. So yeah, look, fair play for them to their future. I hope it does work out the way we're all hoping. So Paul, do you want to pick another topic? Do you want to pick something from your top list?
Let's jump into something that's probably worldwide right now. Is the release of House of Dragons, which had its second episode this week, last Sunday, and we're going to have our third episode on, well, obviously this coming Sunday, kind of thing. Did you get to see it?
No.
Well, don't worry about it. I think I'm not going to do any spoilers and stuff. I enjoyed it. It's going to be a slow burn. I have more enjoyed probably the resurgence around, like, not even just like as in before they released the first episode. I like to see the resurgence of Game of Thrones and the love of Game of Thrones kind of thing. I like the fact that I saw audiences kind of, I guess, look back on the good side.
Yeah, that's why I'm laughing. I have never seen people so quickly forgive somebody for slapping them in the face and go straight back to having dinner with them, because that last episode of Game of Thrones, like you and me, we have a video that we both cherish quite a lot because it was a wonderful cathartic moment for us to get our anger out. But man, that first night of House of Dragons, it was awesome seeing all the news reports and like there's videos of people. You see the video of an apartment block where everybody was watching it at the same time. Like you're right, the fans came right back out of the woodwork. So I thought it might take time for wounds to heal, but man, like dragon fans are serious people. They're into it, you know.
Yeah, like that. I think it's because it's a brand new show that's within the universe that's got a little bit of back filler, but nothing too much, kind of thing. So it is its own thing. So this is kind of like the best of both worlds in the sense that it's Game of Thrones. It's a Game of Thrones TV show, but it's not based on the books, or it will not in any way affect the book series going forward. So like people who are like myself who enjoy the novels and stuff like that aren't having anything affected by it.
There you go.
Kind of thing. So I guess it's and as I said, I've just enjoyed it. Just enjoyed seeing people kind of come back to it and just been like, "Yay, Game of Thrones!" Now I remember how much I like this show.
Well, I have never seen anything so positively reviewed on its first day either. All the happiness. So that's off to a good start. And with Rings of Power, Lord of the Rings, similar maneuver coming out soon. I think there's already positive buzz around it. At least you never know. You just seeing the positivity and missing the negativity. I guess it depends where you're standing when the wind is blowing. And I've been a little bit unplugged for a week, but I think this is an interesting one, Paul. I think House of the Dragon will be interesting to see if everybody is as positive all the way to the end of that season, or if there could be that one moment where everybody's like, "Oh, they're doing this again, and I hate it."
Yeah, that's my worry, is that they changed a little bit of the history so that, because like, although there's a very in the shadows or in the annuals of time kind of history line of what happens, which goes it's so unless they screw that like very like brief line of kind of the history events that I can't see them doing any damage. But if they're just like, this person is dead, and it's like, they don't die, what the hell, they don't die until this time, or that's not how they did that, or because this will be probably more technical, I say, for deeper fans kind of thing, you know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean, and look, I hope people have learned the MCU lesson of your comics are safe, your animation is safe, and your movies are safe, and your TV shows are safe. They don't all have to perfectly follow what the other one had previously done, and in this case, from the written material to the screen. But then, as you say, there still is that connection because of the original series. So I'm gonna hope for positivity for them. I'm not gonna watch any of it until it's all out. Then I'll watch the whole lot. It's the way I do my Thrones.
Okay.
Doing whole series at a time. It's the way I did the originals as well. So I'll be getting a little temperature check from you now and again, and be given the
yeah, I'll give you my one word reviews kind of thing, which is just going to be good so far.
Rate by emoji face in real life. Paul, can I choose your next one for you though, because I would love to transition to Sandman, if that's okay.
Sandman. Yes.
Because I'm worried that Sandman's going to get overlooked. Because Sandman came out, did very, very well, and the reason it's in August news is because it did something very, very cool. Sandman finished and then launched an extra episode.
Yeah, there was two kind of extra little episodes, kind of thing. Well, there's one episode and one kind of short kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which was good. It was the kind of like, I guess, a little bit of a nods to the fans and kind of keep things interesting and stuff like that, especially since they liked it so much. So like I haven't seen them yet. I know.
You're gonna love it.
Yeah,
you're gonna love it.
I do know that I will love it, kind of thing. But it's a nice kind of like, it feels like a thank you, I guess, in a weird kind of way, even though it's definitely more of a treat for the audience kind of thing. So like I'm looking forward to watching it.
Well, I'm throwing up something that's not gonna spoil anything. Just one screen grab from that was widely circulated from the thing. They did a great job with Sandman. We've talked about it previously, so we can't talk about it too much now. But it's a show that I hope people who haven't watched it yet don't get caught up just in the the Rings of Power and in House of the Dragon and all that stuff. Don't sleep on Sandman. Get it watched, and do get round to watching the last one, Paul, because they do cover cats in a fantastic way, which you understand the significance of, and it's very, very cool. So everybody out there, if you haven't seen Sandman, it is worth your time. That's the way I would put it. It's not 5 stars from me, but it's 4 stars with a get it watched. It could very well be 5 stars for you.
Yeah, it's a very enjoyable rendition of Neil Gaiman's Gushkus graphic novel. I have also enjoyed some of his shot backs of people who are just like, I don't like you change this character and all that kind of stuff. I've been really enjoying some of his tweets. So that's just
I'm glad to hear that. I haven't really been seeing it, but I'm very, very, very happy. So Paul, because let's try and punctuate the low notes with the high notes. There is a more recent thing that maybe we can get out of the way now because it's a little more controversial and negative. Would you be okay if we got the Shia Olivia?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So folks, don't worry, darling. Is a movie coming out next month in about the next 3 weeks, I think, and it looks very, very interesting. We're not really talking about the movie, unfortunately, because Olivia Wilde, Shia LaBeouf, Florence Pugh, Harry Styles, all these people's names have been all over the media. And it started a while ago, Paul. It actually started really when Olivia Wilde was on stage at Comic-Con and got handed divorce papers. I hate these kind of stories because this is real people's, this is their lives. These are business people, artists, and all the rest. It's their lives. It's not really what we're in this channel for. And I know I could say that because we both talk about it all the time. We kind of got to mention this one, though, because there was the whole Shia LaBeouf, was he fired? Was he pushed? Did he leave? All that kind of jazz. And the reason I have thrown it in here as a topic, and I knew you'd be okay with it because it was a last-minute addition, is because I was very interested in this movie.
Yes.
Is the movie going to get overshadowed? Olivia Wilde's directorial debut was amazing, book smart. Like, there are very few people who are promising directors from the get-go who have previously been, famous for something else. I don't like where this is going. I like Shia LaBeouf's acting. We've talked about, we did a whole episode about his kind of comeback in his career. Shia LaBeouf is an awesome actor as far as I'm concerned. Olivia Wilde, great actress, and obviously very good producer and director. So this was her chance to start showing not just really good, but maybe great. I don't like it, Paul. How can we make this kind of stuff not make the news?
Yeah, this is the I guess the reason that we're commenting on it now is because it's compounded. So we're not going to talk about any of the gossip stuff or anything like that. We're just bringing it up that yes, this kind of news is dangerously overshadowing what could be a very excellent movie.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, and it should be, this kind of news should be separate to the art, I guess, which I believe we agree on, and that I'll be honest with you. Yeah, there's just the whole stage thing just sounds like it's just like that is a private matter that does not need to bleed into the public eye as much as it has, kind of thing. And I it's horrible to see or be in any way a part of. So yeah, I'm looking forward to. We saw the trailer back 2 months ago or something like that, or when it came out, and. It seemed like a really interesting, intriguing kind of film and stuff, and we love a lot
Florence Pugh's like a future rock star, De Niro level kind of person. She's awesome.
Yeah. So let's keep an eye on it, but we're not commenting on the gossip.
No, and you know what? Harry Styles is part of this whole gossip because and for those of you that haven't been keeping up, not giving details, but essentially how he's involved because it mightn't make sense. Shia LaBeouf was playing that character, was either left or was let go, whatever it might be. There's all sorts of shenanigans, but Olivia Wilde, who's the director, is in a relationship with Harry Styles now. And the thing for me is, I don't care about Harry Styles, the musician, internationally world famous for being in a band. The only thing I've ever seen him act in was in Dunkirk, and I remember him being fine. He didn't leave an indelible impression on me, but he didn't bother me at all. I wonder if people will be able to watch this movie and remove the baggage of, is he there on merit and all of the other kind of gossipy shit that comes up now. I'm really looking forward to the movie, and I'm really looking forward to avoiding almost everything that's written about it. I'm going to talk about this movie, but I'm going to talk about it with people in my own personal life. I'm going to talk about it with Paul in front of all of you, and I'm not going to read what anybody else has written.
Yeah, I think when it does come out and we watch it, we'll probably just critique the movie and critique the actors within it, and no way suggest that maybe, let's say, Harry Styles is not great in the character and stuff like that. We'll be commenting on the fact that maybe he wasn't the right choice, not on based on his acting rather than anything else that might have happened.
Exactly. So Paul, give me one. Give me something.
I'll go for one that I'm really excited about. So, my boy.
But I was going to it before you said your boy. You're really excited. I have a little tab here that says Del Toro.
My boy Del Toro, which is Cabinet of Curiosities, is going to come out during October. We had a trailer and also a release date. That is the book which I love. By the way, that is his charity, or his Cabinet of Curiosities, which is actually his museum of monsters and stuff like that. He is working with a plethora of actors and stuff like that on their stories and stuff like that, to do with horror and kind of Cthulhuism and Hellboy-esque kind of Pan's Labyrinth. All the good stuff that we know Del Toro to be really good with. He's working with several actors on their stories. The question which is out there right now is, are they going to be in any way connected in some kind of universal thread or something like that?
It's what the producers will have wanted.
Or are they going to be just separate contained stories with no through line or something like that? We won't know until probably one of the last few episodes of this show. Kind of thing, if there is any kind of connections, or like direct connections. There might be references or something like that, but nothing kind of big. But as I said, Del Toro's work in the kind of practical effects and horror monster genre kind of thing is just amazing. So I'm looking forward to seeing him give the platform and also his skills and the company, like his company. His production company and prop company and animator company kind of to directors who definitely deserve the platform and want to kind of showcase them as well. It's one of those things that I really like about Del Toro, is kind of like he's gotten so big that he can now, like James Cameron, who we've talked about his relationship with Del Toro, that Del Toro's gotten so big that he's now big enough to be just like, I will now find more talent, the next talent, and kind of, which is great. So I'm really excited about this. Also, it's horror.
Also, if there was a guy I was going to say should indulge in his passion projects, like he's kind of top of mind, because it's obviously where his extreme skills lie. Also, for anybody who hasn't got this yet, this is the most Paul thing ever. Like, this is essentially distilled Paul in a different way. It's like, the way ice is one form, water is another, steam is another. Well, there's Paul, and then there's Del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosity. This is the most kind of up his street thing that we've ever talked about. So I'm really excited on his behalf, if you know what I mean. I'm looking forward. I'm sure I'll enjoy it, Paul, but I'm going to enjoy the hell out of how much you enjoy it if it goes well.
Yeah.
Also, your close personal friend should be in it. A very thin man called Doug.
I will just warn us, we got the 1 minute mark, so we probably should jump for an ad.
Hi, I'm a regular person, just like you. I don't have dead, lifeless eyes or anything. Well, do I have good news for you? I've found Hear Us Out. These two handsome, intelligent, and not at all egotistical folk talk about everything to do with the world of entertainment, covering everything from how movies are made to what TV shows you really shouldn't miss out on. I know, a service like this must cost an awful lot of money. Well, have no fear. It's all available for free on YouTube, with an extensive back catalogue and new episodes every Thursday. To take advantage of this, all you have to do is go to their channel and hit the big red subscribe button. Insider tip: hit the little bell to get notified of any new bonus content. Add some colour to your life. I know I could use it. Hear us out. 3D talk in a 2D world. Hey everybody, we're back. I would absolutely love to talk about Cabinet of Curiosities all night, but I think it may feature on the channel. It may feature on the channel in the future. Unless, Paul, it's an absolute travesty, in which case we will never speak of it again. Chances are pretty slim.
I'll probably still have to talk about it. But yeah, Doug Jones is going to be in it. He's going to be probably plastered in it. There are stories of Ron Perlman being in it as well. And I think there's going to be anyone who's worked with Del Toro and loves him might feature in stories coming out, so that's going to be really cool.
And those that have worked with him do seem to like him, so it's a good sign. It's a good sign. Okay, Paul, what would you like to go to next? Shall we talk about the financial troubles of a certain cinema giant?
Yes. Yeah, let's run through it. So right now, Cineworlds, which is the second largest cinema provider in the world, is going to which is file for bankruptcy, which is very sad. But it's like I think there's kind of a misnomer about bankruptcy. It doesn't mean that they're actually going to go out of business. It just means that they get certain protections and stuff like that to be able to pay back debtors, so that they can keep going, kind of thing. So it's sad to hear. Because I very much like the Cineworlds which is in Dublin.
And for our American friends, I believe Regal Cinemas is what they operate under in America, which is one of the big chains there. So even if you don't recognize the name Cineworld, you've seen their cinemas, because they're I think they might even be the most populous or have the most locations in the US under Regal Cinemas. I like it too, Paul. Their big thing for me is they're the people that carry IMAX. And they're your 40X people as well. I always find it sad. We've professed our love for the church of movies, for the actual cathedrals that we go and watch our lovely passions in. So I know that bankruptcy, Chapter 11, and what they're filing for in the UK is slightly different, and it's all sad. But like you say, it's by no means the end. It's the start of a business move. It's just a terrible indicator.
Like that's the worrying part, because generally, because it's a world-known kind of franchise, that when one kind of chapter of it starts fighting for bankruptcy and stuff like that, they try to cover each other off and stuff like that. So it doesn't sound good. That's one of the largest kind of, I guess, one of the probably most widely known kind of ones would probably aren't working out and stuff. But it's a worry that we talked about before about what could be happening to cinemas after the Darkest Timeline and stuff like that. So let's hope that it's not the first chapter.
I
let's
know.
hope it's a short story.
Exactly, a bump rather than a cliff. So everybody get out and support your local cinema if you can. If you have the dollars, euros, pounds in your pocket, and you can, then maybe consider that as your social outlet. Great place to go with friends, because you can talk about what you're about to see beforehand, and you can talk absolutely the hell about what you've just seen afterwards. And if you can get a group of people of more than 3 that they all agree on it, you're in a cult, because it's never happened to me. So, Paul, what else have we got on your list? Excuse me.
I just have special mentions now after this.
Okay, go for one.
We should Triangle of Sadness, which is a interesting kind of little film. It keeps reminding me of Wes Anderson film, kind of esque.
I had never heard of this. Oh, well, you sent me this on your list, and I was like, never heard of it.
It looks weird, doesn't it?
It does. It does, and it's massively under the radar from what I can tell, so good man for calling it out.
Yeah, I guess with Woody, kind of like with Woody Harrelson involved, as I was just like, piqued my true interest. And then I had to look deeper into it, and I was just like, this seems like such a weird movie. So I thought I'd rise it up to we've had some really good, which is Everything Everywhere All at
I was just going to say, best movie of the year so far fits the description you've just given. So that's why we got to start pointing these things out to people.
Yeah, and also the extreme
Nicolas Cage of it all.
Yeah. This, what is it? The extreme weight of massive talent.
Yeah.
Which is a fantastic film as well, and it's one of the like it's nice to see smaller films like punch up.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways and stuff, and I just saw this and was just like, I gotta mention it because it looks really, really interesting.
It really does.
Really weird.
And you know what? I think at least every episode we will try and bring something to the table as either an addendum or as part of our topic to say, here's one you mightn't have heard of that looks like it could be worth seeing. Because Everything Everywhere All at Once, I don't know how many people have said that to now and they've never heard of it. And I'm like, wow, you missed out on the best moment this year. So Triangle of Sadness, looking forward to it. It is a mad little trailer. Trailer.
It's so weird.
Yeah. So what else have you got?
Which is Andor, which is the Rogue One leader of the Rogue Ones.
Yeah.
Which is his television show is coming out. The reason I'm more kind of mentioning this is because I'm really excited for it and stuff like that. Since Ben Kenobi came out, Obi-Wan Kenobi came out, this will be the next installment of the kind of, I guess, expansion of the wider universe. This is an interesting one for me because it's going along the lines of kind of a character within a movie of a Star Wars thing we're doing a TV show about. Which so far Mando has been the only one that's been like incredibly successful and been the only one that hasn't been a movie about him. So like I'm wondering how this is going to go because it's a standalone movie about it, like, and it's a character that's not really well known. He's not massively in the rest of the kind of franchise.
He seemed to resonate with people, which I didn't know. Like you and I know, and I think it probably has come up on the channel. I have mixed feelings about Rogue One. Good film, all sorts of maybe unnecessary, but like you say, it's standalone prequel-ish thing, and the Cassian Andor isn't even the lead. So the idea that he's going to be the focus of a series, and not just a series. Like what I've heard and what I've been able to find out about what they're saying, Andor, I had no interest in. But now I'm like, oh, you're going to try and do it that way? So apparently there's going to be like a season. Then every season after that will either jump 1 year or 5 years or 10 years or something. They're going to do like kind of epochs of storytelling. I'm down with it. It sounds like they're going to try something new. Something new is always something exciting, something brave. And exciting and brave can really turn into cool and legendary very, very quickly.
Yeah, no, it really can. I'm really this is what I'm interested. Yeah, so I'm interested in seeing if it breaks the formula of a character that's first shown in a movie and kind of because like the Book of Boba Fett, it was all right. It was a fun romp kind of thing. I just sneezed again.
Go for it.
No, never mind.
Everybody out there, will Paul to sneeze. See if we can make it happen in the live chat.
Yeah, so the Boba Fett has been an interesting one, which is Obi-Wan Kenobi's been a little bit of a mixed bag kind of thing with people, and then obviously Mando has been absolutely the Mandalorian has been great. So this will be an interesting one of kind of will it break the formula of a character from a movie, a Star Wars movie, being in a bad show, or will it take some of the magic of kind of the Mandalorian and kind of go in its own direction and stuff like that. So also production value does seem a little bit higher than it was in Obi-Wan. I don't know why, it just feels that way, but could just be that it's trying to kind of, because it was released for the Comic-Con stuff, that it might have been kind of trying to kick up the storm for it.
They punched it up a wee bit, yeah. Well, it's one to watch out for, folks, and that's only a couple of weeks ago. I think that and Rings of Power are similar amount of time away. And Paul, you've mentioned also the Tim Burton Wednesday Addams family.
Yeah, there's Tim Burton's Addams Family show called Wednesday, which should be on Netflix. Had its trailer come out and stuff. So it's the first time in a while we've seen Tim Burton kind of take on take on the director cap again in a recent years. So I'm interested in seeing how it's going. The trailer was interesting. It seemed very Addams Family values, like the original thing. I'm interested to see how the family get on. There's some choices of characters, actors, and stuff like that I'll find interesting.
You think of Luis Guzman in the role of father of the family, whatever the patriarch is called.
Gomez. Yeah. It's Gomez. Yeah, it's an interesting choice, and it's in no way. I want to point out this because a lot of people have been just like, well, Gomez is supposed to be like a handsome young man and stuff like that, and that's not. It's more the fact is like he's come back. He's been in like Waiting, and Ryan Reynolds and stuff. It's hard for me to kind of break him out of that. For me, he's been in a lot of kind of, I guess, stoner-esque movies and stuff like that kind of thing. So it'd be interesting to see how it goes forward.
He had a statue in Community, for God's sakes.
Yes.
Like I think I saw some of the same bullshitty comments as you saw. No, I know you well enough to know that it would never be about, he doesn't fit the type of a Lothario or whatever. I think he's incredibly smart casting. I'll be honest with you, I think Catherine Zeta-Jones is great casting as well. I'm looking forward to seeing those two in particular, because I think Luis Guzman's got such a great underlying cheeky air to him. It's why he's quite often played somebody with a slight amount of almost sinisterness to their cheekiness. Which is perfect for the Addams Family. So I'm down with it. I'm not too sure how big I'll be into this. It's one of those ones I'll give it a go, but I'm not a big enough Addams Family. I watched the original when I was a kid on reruns. I'm not Wednesday. It's gonna beat Game of Thrones for me now or whatever.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like it's not gonna in any way kind of, I guess. It'll be one of those movies. It will be one of the TV shows that I kind of watch on a kind of off and on basis kind of thing. Yeah. Like I don't know.
Fair play.
Overall, I'm interested in it, but I won't be touching too much. I see Lisa has joined the comments. Hey, how's it going? Good morning. I guess where you're from, or where you're from.
Well, you can. We were trying to get Paul to sneeze a moment ago, so let's will that into existence. He's holding one back, and I think there's one thing our channel's been missing, and that's a small amount of snot on the camera lens. So if we can get Paul to absolutely...
I have been fighting this for too long.
Okay, well, that was Wednesday, and I think, Paul, your last little kind of quickie was a certain little blue hedgehog.
Yeah, so with the success of Sonic and Sonic 2, there's been talks about a emerging movie of PacMan, which will be very interesting. Since the only other movie that we've seen him involved in that hasn't been fully animated, because he's in Wreck-It Ralph kind of in the background and stuff, is Pixels. Yeah. But with the success of Sonic and Sonic 2, there's been talks about kind of delving back into the kind of classic games and seeing if they can make kind of movies out of them and stuff. And Pac-Man seems to be the next one on or next possible one on.
I thought you were going to Freudian slip it in there with make, instead of movies, that you're going to say make money off people out of them. Because this is definitely not a creatively driven decision. They're like, oh look, Sonic can make money. Pac-Man and Sonic are generations apart in their gaming technology. One being a stand-up coin-op, the other being the Sega Mega Drive / Genesis selling game. It's so funny to me because I think Sonic, I haven't seen Sonic 2, I think Sonic is one of those great ways to do a game-based thing. They understood that they needed a Jim Carrey genius and needed to approach this with we want it to be a success. Like, I know nobody makes a movie not wanting it to be a success, but Pixels is a great example of, I wonder will pop culture float us along here. And I think Sonic, from its complete VFX overhaul, showed that it was trying to take itself seriously.
Yeah, you can tell. You can tell in the story, in the kind of like in the characters and stuff like that, that they've taken a little bit more kind of, I guess, they've taken a gentler and more creative touch to it, rather than just trying to cash in on nostalgia, kind of thing. Which feels like the movie might be great if they do a Pac-Man movie. The movie might be great, but the decision to make it the first gate was definitely based on money. Yeah, like can't say anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Paul, I'm gonna burst through a few quickies because I think we're going to be running close on time. So I want to just call it out and say that, and I've thrown up the Fall Guy. We talked about this on Things. We were talking about old TV shows that we wouldn't mind being remade into movies and things like that. And I mentioned that the Fall Guy was on a list. Well, it looks like it really is going to happen, because they're now talking about March 2024, which is, a year and a little bit away. So it could be a big tentpole Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt thing. And if I have to sell the Fall Guy to anybody who's never seen it, I am just going to say the main character's name is Colt Seavers. He is a stuntman who makes money as a part-time bounty hunter, and he has a cool truck. If you need to know any more than that, then you're not my people. You're not my kind of people. You don't understand who I am deep down and what a large child I will always be. I think it has all the makings for... If they don't have to take it seriously, it's got to be lighthearted. But if they don't just try and 21 Jump Street it and try and make jokes at it, because I don't think enough people will remember it well enough, I think its underlying story leaves open action, charm, and essentially what the TV show was. Charming, action, entertaining. Emily Blunt, Ryan Gosling, they're good. They're good people. I'm hoping.
I can't say. I'll be honest with you. Okay, so this is probably really bad and probably really generational. When I heard that they were doing Fall Guy, definitely thought it was the game.
Oh yeah, Fall Guys or whatever.
Yeah, and I was just like, Ryan Gosling is going to be in a movie about like Fall Guys. That's just a weird it's a weird game that's like Squid Game or like Battle Royale or something like that. And I turned further, and I read a little bit more, and I was just like, wait a minute, this is the show that Patrick really loves.
Yep,
this is going to be great.
This is why Patrick wants to wear bad suede jackets when no one's looking. I completely think they're trying to capture the last money out of my generation with this, but I think it's the perfect one to do it with, because I think standing on its own, there's enough in this, let's call it franchise, there's enough in the kernel of this idea is universal enough that it can be fun, exciting, and can make a really good Hollywood movie. So I'm down with it. I hope they do go ahead, film it, and make a success out of it.
Yeah, I look forward to this.
Let's see, what else have I got? Oh yeah, just in this one kind of caught my attention. Disney are talking about making more. Like Thunder Mountain now is being talked about for a movie. They've already made, and it's a ride. So the idea that almost every Disney ride will end up as a movie. Because let's face it, Disney Plus, they need content. You've got your Andors for the Lucas film stuff. MCU seems to be doing okay. Mickey and Friends are still making money out of all their stuff. Like they've got many strings to their bow. But I often forget that they've actually done quite well out of taking theme park rides and turning them into movies. Pirates of the Caribbean, Jungle Cruise, and now a ride I've never been on, Thunder Mountain.
Yeah, I've been on Thunder Mountain. It's just another roller coaster, but with a train. It's very fun. But I was surprised when I heard about this one as well, because completely forgot that Jungle Cruise was an actual ride.
There you go.
Yep. So that's going to be interesting.
All I know is Universal Studios I've been to, and their stuff is based on movies. When I was younger and I was in Florida, Paul, at the right age, and I was outside of Disneyland, and I thought, my God, my parents don't hate me. We're actually going to go to Disneyland. And then we went to the Epcot Center, which, if anybody knows, that's the educational wing of Disneyland. So I got to look across at the Magical Kingdom pretty much and go, I wonder what it's like in there. Anyway, now I'm getting to watch it being portrayed by Johnny Depp. So it's all good. It's what goes around. You wait long enough, you get to see everything. Maybe just not the way you planned.
Someday we'll go and do a we'll go to Disneyland or to Universal Studios and we'll just ride all the rides and we'll go to every single ride and we'll try to do like a live stream while on the ride talking about the movie of the ride we're on. So like if we do like the Hulk ride, we'll be just like, the Hulk movies are great, She-Hulk was great, kind of thing. We'll be getting batteries around the place.
I'm gonna give away my secret. I can actually on a racetrack head into a corner with brakes that I'm not even sure are going to work at full throttle and find out. Close your eyes, ask God, and hopefully make it round the corner. But you strap me into a roller coaster, and I am terrified. Take the controls out of my hands. Says a lot about me. Paul, swiftly moving on to another little bit of weird news. Beverly Hills Cop 4, another one from that same era. They're making another sequel. Eddie Murphy's shooting it right now by the looks of it, so it's gonna happen. It's not earth-shattering news, but when the news came out this month that this really is a thing, I think it could turn out to be very, very interesting, because now that Maverick Top Gun 2 has come out and done an amazing job and been so well, is there a little bit of thirst for nostalgia level movies? Because nobody remembers Beverly Hills Cop 3. Some people remember Beverly Hills Cop 2, but this will feel like, hey, Axel Foley is back, Beverly Hills Cop. They can put a 4 after it, but I think a lot of people will go, God, I remember the first movie, that was great.
Yeah. Is it Wonderland in number 3?
Yeah. Or Wally World or some weird crap.
Yeah.
It didn't happen. We should forgive them for that. Everybody makes mistakes.
It's got Surge in it.
Surge.
I really like this news because it's, I guess it's less about the nostalgia buzz that they might be on with Maverick. It's more the fact is that they might be once again filming films for the fact of filming films.
Gotcha.
Like Maverick was a very much going back to Top Gun kind of era where it was just like, this is a film that no one is going to be like confused about in any kind of way. Like, it's just a movie for a movie's sake, and it's just
true.
A fun, enjoyable thing. And I think Beverly Hills Cop 4 will be also that kind of thing. Once again, I do believe that the decision to make it was definitely, but what comes out of it hopefully will be a good product,
Yeah. So, Paul, to close, I've just realised that I deleted the folder that had the images I needed for the following topic, which was just a little quick recap of the movies that came out in streaming, because there were a few big push movies out in streaming. There was Lightyear on Disney Plus, which was the Buzz Lightyear story in a kind of a way, but not really. I enjoyed the movie. It was fine. I agree with our friend over at Pop Culture who did an episode on this and said there was no need for them to tie it to the idea that this is the movie that the kid in Toy Story watched, because then all of a sudden you have lots of breakdowns and continuity and any sort of reasonable sense. But in and of itself, it was a fine little Buzz Lightyear movie. It didn't change my world.
I think my only thing with I need to watch Pop Culture's thing because I only recently saw Lightyear. My only 2 cents on the reason why they did that was literally so that they could be just like, look, it is part of the Toy Story series.
Exactly.
That's it. Like, not that they could for some reason be just like, yeah, Buzz Lightyear. This is a movie about Buzz Lightyear and his adventures.
Yeah.
That toy that's in Toy Story.
I know.
Yeah, that one.
Again, I have to say to these people, you're massive. Trust me, you're big enough. Have confidence that people will recognize Toy Story. It's not exactly a franchise that whimpered it to a halt. It was 4 very successful and critically lauded movies. Very few people have done sequels as successfully from a critical point of view. The other one then was Day Shift, which I don't know what to say about. I know you liked it more than me because we did talk about it briefly. I just thought it was a wonderful exercise in kind of some 90s nostalgia music for me, but also the weirdest color grading where they were like, we're turning this on, that's it, we're setting everything to kind of cyan and orange and we're leaving it for the whole movie. Like, okay, that's a brave choice. But yeah, it was an unobjectionable movie for me. I know I said to you, Paul, I just felt it was too much money maybe spent for what they got. But still, I have no particular complaints about the movie.
No, I'm not gonna die on a hill for it. But I was. What made me more probably like the film was more that the world they built, which the background and kind of stuff was a lot more interesting than probably the main story.
True.
And then so that's probably where I'm coming from and why I liked it so much.
Yeah.
It's a good little romp if you have if you have an hour and a half or 2 hours. I think it's 2 hours to burn. Go watch it. It's not gonna waste your time. There are better things out there though.
Oh yeah, but I wouldn't. I would definitely put it on the kind of the watch list as far as it's definitely worth a go. And for all my car folks out there, yes, you're not looking at the truck funny going, why is he driving a Baja truck to work? And then your brain goes, oh, there's going to be a scene, isn't there? Yeah, you know it, and there is. Car people straight away will be like, oh, what? The last one then was Prey. Prey, in the Predator universe, the Predator prequel extraordinaire. Paul, not gonna lie, I liked it. I thought, yeah. I love Predator, the original movie. I think it's an absolute masterpiece. But I don't hold all of the rest of the franchise, tightly and care too much about it, because there's been Alien versus Predator, Predator versus Alien, Alien versus Requiem, Requiem for an Alien's Predator dream. Danny Glover's got 3 weeks to kill an alien before retirement. Whatever it all was. Prey made a lot of sense to me. I thought I was quite impressed by quite a lot of things in it, actually. And I found it enjoyable. Again, I'm not going to go out and tell everybody they have to watch this movie. But if you're kind of into the Predator stuff, it did no harm to me and kind of did okay.
I would say that if you're looking for a Predator film or an action film, that is like up there with the original Predator film, this is probably it out of the rest of the franchise.
Yeah, it's probably second best.
Yeah, like I enjoyed the second one. I've enjoyed the Alien vs. Predator series. I enjoyed Predator and Predators, or Predators and Predator, which is how it goes.
Singulars and plurals.
Yeah, because I enjoyed it. It's the reason I enjoyed this was they just simplified the whole thing and then went with that premise and stuff like that, which was just great. They didn't they didn't give us too much away about the creature. They just told a story, kind of thing, and the name was also very good in the sense of kind of it was a very good play.
Yeah,
that's all I'll say.
Of the three, Prey is the one I would recommend over, depending on your age and depending on the audience you're going to watch it with. But let's say it's just you or me, I would say Prey is the pick out of the three for Lightyear, Day Shift, and Prey. So check it out. Paul, we have not been kind to Lisa, who's been commenting away here. So Lisa, sorry, I had something actually covering that box, which was very silly of me. And yes, Nora, I agree. The first Predator movie is fantastic, like genuinely. Which is why I want to hear what Lisa, you say you only saw Predator for the first time last week. Tell us, is there a thumb up or a thumb down? Because we're about to close out this episode, and you can't leave us hanging. Because somebody who's never seen it before, seeing it recently, I'd be very interested to see how they feel about it.
Yeah, like it'll be an interesting kind of story, especially since we've grown up with it being like a pinnacle. I am now blurry. Yeah, like it's
that's the sneeze, Paul. That's the sneeze shaking your camera because you never let it out. So
I'm gonna hold my nose and sneeze, and you're gonna see. Never mind.
Lisa, I hope you haven't dropped off and are actually typing, because we're now vamping just to see what you thought of Predator. Paul, while we're waiting for that, I want to say thanks very much for all your support of late. We've had a few challenges outside of the channel here to keep things going, but we have not missed a Thursday yet. I hope you enjoyed the rapid review last week of Equilibrium. If you haven't, folks, go and check it out, because there aren't many films like it, Paul. Unless, of course, you consider The Matrix, which it was trying to be and didn't turn out anything like.
It was meant to be The Matrix with maths.
There you go. Maths Matrix. What sells it more than that? Well, lots and lots of this gun. I love it. Lisa, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to give up. You may have actually dropped off. We will find out in a future episode what Lisa thought of. It's good that Nora says Prey captured some of the magic of the first film. That's a great way of putting it. It actually did. So, Paul, you happy enough to walk our way out of this one?
Yes, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, which should share us out. If you want to get us in touch about any kind of movies or shows that you want us to do, contact us on our socials down below, and or comment on any of our videos, which we are very up with the. Just as I said that, I think Lisa replied. Yeah, it's all right. I think the dudes were not very smart for supposedly special ops. Yeah.
Consider the time, consider the Schwarzenegger. There's nothing more I could say. Yeah. I would also say, Paul, on top of everything that Paul's just said, check the links in the description down below for our good friends of the channel. We're not going to have time to call everybody out tonight. We call people out every week, but do check our friends in the links below. Paul, you happy to go on that?
Yes, I've been Paul.
And I've been Patrick.
And we've been Here Is Out.
And we will see you next time. Take care, everybody.
See you next week.
Bye.
Thursday.